to take down the exposure just one level. Auto exposure instead of 5. There we go. Okay. And go live. We're live everywhere. Choose education. And take that off. Sub only chats. Only subscribers can comment. Audience controls. No, that's limited to 18 years and older. It ain't that kind of TikTok. Oh my god. I'm gonna close it down. See, I made my image bright again though. I swear to holy hell. What is it doing? I guess that's just the best it gets. Alright, fine. Okay, turn off this screen here. There we go. Good morning, Randy. Good morning. Morning, Kim. And Daniel. Daniel, did you get something out of class last night? I know it was like 80-20. 80% focused on options. You don't trade options, right? You trade shares. But was it good? Was it good for you? Or maybe I have you confused with the other Daniel. One of you Daniels doesn't do options. You do shares only. All right, so Joe was asking me something about PayPal, and then what do you say? Is that good contract or is there a better one? I mean, the lower you can go if you must buy long versus sell puts, then the lower you can go with your call, the better. I always recommend 75 delta for long calls. Then you're not trying to beat an impossible break-even line. That's me, no options. Yeah, so but the question was, was there some good stuff in there for you? Actually, I think you only showed up for a portion of the class, right? So you didn't necessarily even catch every topic. But we covered, I think, about 5 topics. So it was a pretty good one as far as how many topics we covered. Good morning, D. Griff. Good morning. How's the quality on the TikTok here, you guys? Because I tried some new options to, I don't know, improve the stream. Let me know. All right. The market we've released, got late and had to leave early. Okay, yeah, right on. All right, so we have PPI information has been released. I haven't even looked at the numbers, but the reaction seems favorable so far. It's a favorable blip in the right direction. Let me pull up the cues over here. Okay. Yesterday was pretty amazing how the day retraced for the last half of the day of the market and got all the way back up and above the prior day's close and high. So that was pretty astounding progress yesterday. And now this morning, with the PPI numbers, I guess, coming in positive in sentiment, we should find this area a bit more supportive, although you never know. The rug could get pulled out after the opening bell. We'll see. We are near a top, so that provides resistance, and you never know. But the reaction was positive, and now if I could look at the specific numbers, let me take a look here. Just need to go to economic calendar. There we go. For PPI, we were expecting 0.1%. And it was actually negative 0.1%. So we actually had some deflation. Wow, that's fantastic. We didn't have a slowing of a rate of return, like from 3% to 2.9%. We had deflation. That's fantastic. I think this market is underreacting right now. That's really great. And then core PPI year over year, 1.8% versus expectation of 2. So that's also better. Fantastic. So PPI good. Let's see how the market reacts to it, though. The proof is will come in real time then. I'm live if you want to watch. All right, so this morning we have on our hot list the gap ups. The biggest one of interest would be Zim. That's, I believe, a shipping company. So we'll pull up Zim. Sounds good. All right, good. Thanks. Then come over here. Yes. Zim shipping. Yes. Oh, I just love this chart. This is the way charts should look. I mean, it's basically a model picture perfect chart. Let's see if I can draw this here. Well, I'll pull this up on TikTok for people as well. I'm going to make this a solid line, and then it will draw it correctly everywhere. Dude, why'd my trackball gotta be like that, man? Come on. Boom. Okay, cool. All right, I'm drawing the lines. Over on TikTok, it's showing up too. That's cool. This is just a model movement here. Stair-stepping, higher highs, higher lows. Beautiful contiguous movement. Easy to see sideways consolidations. And then the other model factor was extreme move off of a bottom that was previously much smaller candles, now with way higher volume, sentiment changing volume, renewed, rebirth levels of volume, and then stair stepping, trending right over the 200 moving average for full on trend reversal. I mean, this is Zim. It's on our hot list. Is an incredible growth stock, and the change from when it started doing that to the high is 118% in 15 bars. So it has the thumbprint of a massive growth stock. So Zim, which is a previous massive growth stock, went from $11 IPO to $91 in less than about a year. And here we are coming off of $6 or $7, and it's at $15. It's pulled back to $12, and now it's up in pre-market on increased volume. Zim. So this is one that's a growth swing stock, not necessarily an intraday day trade. The float is 93 million. It does 8 million average volume. Today's volume is a million. So it's not even going to hit its average volume projected yet in pre-market. So this move today even is maybe not going to stick and hold. If you want a move to stick and hold, and it's doing something extraordinary in pre-market, that move has to be coupled by a volume of at least a third its average volume, so that by closing bell it will have put in its average volume, 100%, because you get about 2/3 volume during the market and a third in pre-market, so you can kind of project out what the volume will be during the day based on some of the pre-market volume numbers. So anyway, though, this is great. Hopefully Zim pulls back again a little bit, because that would continue to create this little consolidation area that we could build a position in. Zim is fantastic, and I don't know how liquid the options are. Let's take a look at that. I'd have to wait until it starts trading because it's not giving me historical information, but I can go to the open interest, and it's in the thousands, so that's decent. It should hold up. Let me check the bid-ask spread. Yeah, they're somewhat loose slash tight. It's probably right on the border of something that you could play around with options. Otherwise, shares, but that's a excellent stock to stock for a swing trade. Uranium is taking off. All right, what is that? U. Energy fuels. No. There's a uranium stock. U. God, I thought there was one with like a multiple U's. All right, I'll just type uranium. Let's see what comes up. I'm not remembering the stock name. There's UROY, uranium miners. Let's see if there's an ETF for uranium. Global uranium ETF, URA. Let me see. Oh yeah, it's just a little pop, maybe 2%. But no, it's more than that. I don't know. Let's see, 30.72 divided by 29.39, 4.5% pop. Okay. It depends on the stock and the setup, though. URA. Yeah, exactly, Michael. We have 13 minutes before the market opens, and another opportunity we're looking at. If you can give me any individual names, Michael, I'll check them out, like lickety split to see if anything's set up perfectly for an entry. But the ADR on the URA average, index for uranium stocks is only about 3%, which is a little bit slightly subpar. Not too bad. It's not as bad as Apple. It's not as slow as Apple. Zim, and then the other big one this morning, only up 6%, is WIT. WIT. Let's take a look at that. Oh, that's quite an extreme move on very low volume. There's nothing you can really do with it, because of the volume. It just doesn't have the liquidity. It doesn't have the liquidity to trade. But yeah, it's up. It kind of has the signature of being a buyout. I don't know what the news is. Let me see. No, it looks like revised numbers make it look like it's possibly doing better as a company. That can be pump and dump bullshit, though. Don't fall for that, guys. All right. So again, if you arrived late to the stream, PPI numbers looked good. Looked actually very good. We got deflation coming in on PPI, and the market has responded favorably. And we were already looking good yesterday by the end of the day, and now we have this, and it just creates a little bit, just more support, just more of the case is made for prices in this region not to devolve down to a lower region, right? That doesn't necessarily mean that today can't be red or that we can't go down 5 days in a row next week, because that's all part of this region. So but it does just sort of thicken up the case for this whole region. So we don't always necessarily are able to predict, let's say, how the market's going to move on a day. We have some ideas and we have some notions, but it's good to know the forces that are out there and what they could do for you. It's much harder to predict, let's say, the day to day, 1 day intraday movement of anything than it is to predict how it's going to move across the next 3 weeks, because the forces are bigger. So it's sort of like the Brownian motion of an atom, trying to predict the Brownian motion inside an atom or of an atom versus that water's flowing down a river. It's like, what do you want to bet on? The fucking little Brownian motion in the atom, or that the river's going to go down and come off a waterfall, right? It's a lot easier to go with bigger time frames in that sense. The smaller time frame you got, the scalpier you get. Zim Zimmer, who got the keys to my Beamer? Funny. All right, back to now. Let's check the pre-market on any of the names in our hot list. That's another thing we can do. Oh, excuse me, I'm about to sneeze. There. I think I muted it, right? Did you guys hear it? Hopefully I wasn't on this mic and I muted it on my headphone mic and then you heard it. Oh, Jesus. Now, we've got AHG. Let's check it out. Check it out. I'm not in love with that daily chart, although it is interesting. We have the signature, 300% move in 8 days, and it's been moving around. It's just this last half of the time, this major retrace and failure to hold basic trend pivots is not good. However, it bounced off the 200 and it's all above the 200, so it's a little bit testier, more difficult of a stock. But it does have the thumbprint of being a monster, and also it's like $1. So keep an eye on it. But it's low liquidity, pennyish stock, but it has been piquing interest for small cappers. Zim is at the second at the top of our list. So right there's Zim again, another vote for Zim. CCJ is up 5% in pre-market and breaking out to new all-time highs, it looks like. CCJ, wow, wonderful. BRG, what is this? BR, wow, what a spike. What's going on that one? Not a lot of volume behind it, but BR is right at breakout on the daily chart for swing trade. BR. These are stocks that we follow and are on our hot list because they have the signature of being high growth monsters. ESPR. I think, who was it, Marcus? Are you in ESPR? I think it was Marcus. I don't remember if you took profits already yet. Some profits or all profits, but it's still going. It's still going a little bit more. And but I don't mind if you took profits on any strong, extraordinary day, just like we talked about in class last night. Accelerated profits beat holding every day. Wow, Pat. Way to get banned, bro. Like what? You're gone. Goodbye, Pat. Like he was in there yesterday saying some questionable comments. Now here he is again. Like, why come back? Like, wow, these armchair people living in basements. You did sell, Marcus? All right, good. Glad. Yeah, okay. Post that profit. I don't mean post it. I mean just nail it down. Very good. Yeah, this market is moving well right now. We're now in a 4-point uptrend off of the PPI data. That's excellent. We got 6 minutes before the market opens, and we've got a couple of ideas of what's hot this morning. That'd be CCJ, BRBR, and ESPR we love. It's getting extended now. I'd wait for a pullback potentially, unless you get a put credit spread. Your timing doesn't have to be perfect. Talk, here's another one. Talk, let's take a look at that. What's going on there? Yeah, that's not enough on Talk, but it is beautiful stock. ABSI got kind of carried away the last 2 weeks. Probably needs to settle in a little bit before continuing, and that might take another 2 weeks. LFMD up 2.6%. Now that's dead cat bounce. SLG. Whoa. Futuristic Dread. What a name. Unity. Yeah, I'll take a look at Unity. Unity's been going good. I'm in Unity. Come on, Unity. Hold up a little better, man. Hold up a little better. All right. Unity's a perfect example Marcus and everybody who was in class last night. Unity. Look at this. Here's my break-even line for my put credit spread on Unity, this white line. And look how it's kind of coming down, and now it's down here. This is a perfect example of how I don't have to sweat too much because of my descending break-even line. Oh, I guess I'll show that on TikTok as well. And I can wait for some of that mean reversion, the theoretical mean reversion. Hey, mean reversion happens. You got mean reversion? We definitely need some shirts for that, Randy. I love it. If only we were pure mean reversion traders, which is not really a super winning strategy, the whole contrarian mean reversion type of thinking. Remember we illustrated last night? But definitely it is part of something that we try and lean on, that that it's a factor of a certain degree. And it's just another one of those very interesting factors that we can put in our favor by selling spreads. Let's see. That was Unity. Let's get way up here back on the list. ABSA, LFMD, SLG, Frog. Frog, this looks great. If we had been stalking it, entry would have been best at 3182. It continues to make progress, but this is a stock that went 63% in 50 days. That's good. That's about a 4% ADR. Actually, it's showing up as only 3% ADR. So I guess it's slowed down lately. And it's just maybe slightly below our criteria. T-shirt, at least we recognize it. Yeah, I like mean reversion. T-shirt, I like mean reversion. Yeah, we're getting somewhere. Mean reversion. And then you show a guy with like sunglasses on. Like a retro guy with sunglasses on and stock charts in his sunglasses. That'd be kind of fucking cool. I gotta ask AI to make that. That would be kind of cool. Okay, guys. Wow, the market just looks beautiful. We should just be watching the market because it's like watching the sunrise. It is just gorgeous right now, that move off of PPI. I don't know if it'll hold. Like I said, we're moving right into all-time highs on the Qs and nearby highs on SPY, S&P 500. And so those can be points of resistance, and they will be tested as such. However, it's been a long time since those highs were put in, and sentiment and economics are completely different now. So it may just blast right on through it. However, we are still expecting this month to be sideways, and then a dip at the end of the month, and then a rally in February. By the way, I had to prune out 2 election years out of the last 38 years in the seasonal prediction pattern for the whole year, the forecast, because those 2 particular years were bear markets. So if we want the full confluence here, we got to be bull market, election year. And when you do that, you actually find out there's only going to be 2 rallies this year, not 3. You're going to have one in February for about the first half of the month. The dip buy will be at the end of this month in January. And then another one in November. You're going to have to wait all the way to November. And there's actually going to be quite a fall in March. But November will be good, election. And then December will be some of the highest prices of the whole year. So this is going to be a bummer from March through October, from March until the beginning of November of a year. And it's going to chop all summer long, and there'll be some micro rallies and then micro drops, but chop, So this is a great year after February, starting in March, to prepare to go Iron Condor. Craw! All right, how many? Wait, the market's going to open in 6 seconds. Here we go. Natural gas, I will. Let's just check out how the market reacts off the open here, and then pay attention to our watch list to see how many stocks will be up off the open. Looks like DocU is up 10% off the open. That's got to be just a blip. Okay, yeah, that readjusted out. ENPH Tau, we got to wait a minute for all these blips to iron out. Got too many blips. Looks like Bitcoin rallying off of this open. Staples are up, utilities are up, rates are moving down, the market's moving up. Could this be a rising tide day? Very interesting to see staples and growth and value moving up. This is a rising tide day. Does anybody remember, how many of you are here? What does it mean when we have an all tide rising type of day? What are we expecting, and how rare is that? Does anybody remember the numbers on that? How infrequent do we get that, and what can we expect? Now, we're only a minute off of the open, so anything can happen, but so far, just to talk about it, let's see if anybody remembers the statistics and the expectation here when we see that. We've got VIX moving up. We've got the dollar getting stronger. We've got growth going up. We've got value going up. We've got defensives going up, such as staples. We've got healthcare going up. We have financials moving up. We have industrials moving up. We have tech moving up. We have energy moving up. Discretionary spending moving up, and then to top it all off, we have rates moving down, just to add more fire and octane to this. And what does it mean when we have all things moving up together? It's called an all tides rising type of day. Okay, it's a 1 in 20. It's pretty rare. It's about 5% of the time, a 1 in 20 day. And what it means is that we'll be going up green all day long. All day long. Now, it could come with a midday test and a dip and a this and that, but in general, it grinds up all day, all the way to the close. That's the signature right here off of 2 minutes of the open. But, shit can change fast. And in fact, well, there we go. We have the Qs now pulling back hard, trying to do something testy. But Apple is already well on its way, so we're going to get some rising tide lifts all boats. Yes, sir. And those kinds of days, when those signatures, if that signature sticks in the next 20 or 30 minutes, it's very likely that the rest of the day is just going to continue to just grind up green. And what we mean by that grind up is not a huge rally of some monstrous proportion, but rather a measured, trickling in across everything, just lots of money moving into the market all day long and ending up green, and typically never breaking pivot intraday. So uptrend all day. But you still need about 20 or 30 minutes of time put in to really solidify the thesis on that. What happened on the TV, Algo? All right. Yeah, rates are continuing to go down, and the VIX is still going up. The dollar is strengthening. That's important as well. Just the American economy right now is leading, and we're at the kickoff of a business cycle that could last 2 to 12 years, average of 7 years. And this is good. For some reason, however, the seasonal prediction is that we're going to chop until the end of the month, and then we're going to actually dip on the 29th of January or the 30th. Basically, the last couple of days of January, there's going to be some kind of a panic dip, and that's going to provide an excellent entry point for an incredible rally in February. That's the seasonal prediction, right? The degree of which that has happened every election year in the last 38 years is 75% of the time. So it's pretty good. That's a useful stat. I wouldn't rest on anything lower than 60%, but maybe even 70%. But 75%, that's pretty good. So we'll keep going with it, until it isn't true. But in the meantime, we trade the market. We trade what we see. We don't trade what we hear. We trade with our eyes. We do not trade with our ears. Mean reversion T-shirt. I love it. All right, we're 5 minutes off of the open, so our first 5-minute candle has been put in. Now, as far as what's up off of the open and what's doing good, we got Moderna, mRNA. Let's take a look, shall we? Yeah, Moderna's been making a very nice reversal move across the 200 moving average lately, and this is an entry on Moderna. It's a pullback entry, but it is the second one. So this is a chop region, but this is the bottom of the chop region and an entry signal. So you do with that what you will. We like to, have conviction on our entries by getting in at the ends of the day, not at the beginnings of the day. But there are some strategies where you can get partially in the beginning of the day, add midday, and cap it off at the end of the day, so long as it has progressed properly, and then even top it off the next day. That's if you're trading shares. If you're trading options, if it's a very liquid name, well, Moderna is, then you just open up a put credit spread. Ba-bing, ba-bang, 20 delta. Okay, remind me of that, Carl, later. After I'm done here, remind me about that. That's going to be cool. I'm gonna create that image. That's going to be interesting. I'm going to have to go to Midjourney for that, I think. Thoughts on Alvi? Yeah, it's good. Moderna looks good, you guys. It's acting strong. Alvi, let's see. Uh, Something's happening off of the bottom there, but it isn't on a lot of volume. But something's happening. I mean, it's definitely high speculation right now, but there's something that could turn into something going on there. Yeah, but it's high speculation. Risk reward, um, massively, risky. Nike. Nike's a very slow stock, even slower than Apple, almost 1.7% ADR. Could be a good investment long term, but anything you invest in, make sure you intend to hold it for minimum 10 years. But if you want to trade something, Nike's not really going to provide the return to beat the market. You might as well get in the market. Just S&P 5, just to put your money in SPY. Nike doesn't beat SPY or QQQ for that matter. QQQ went up 58% last year. Nike won't do that necessarily, unless you got insider information. And if you did, you wouldn't be asking me. You'd be, secretly scheming to get all your money into Nike. So you don't. All right. Another thing that's hot off of the open is Celsius, I think it is, the drink company, the energy drink company. Monster Beverage did well, and Cell H did very well in previous years, and now it's been kicking off again. It's got a decent ADR of 5.3%, but it's a bit scraggly of a chart, so you kind of have to wait a long time, like a month or 2 months, for a pop, a little run, and that can be really difficult. However, it does have a signature going on right now that's pretty decent. So this is potential entry, Atlas pattern type of entry, high type flag type of Atlas pattern entry on Cell H. BNTX 4, what is 4? 4 square or something? What is 4? 4 is Shift 4 payments. Okay, payment processor, I guess. They're on a nice cup and handle pullback cheat entry on the weekly chart. That's a 3-year entry right here. So you waited 3 years to get this entry. It is breaking out for the first time in 3 years right now. FOUR. This would be a pretty strong breakout entry point. 3 years of build up to this moment could create a 1, 2, 3, even 6-month run. Might not be easy. Might have its pullbacks and everything, but follow our systems, and you can go shares, you can go PCS if the options are liquid. What was that one I wanted to check the liquidity of the options on earlier? Does anybody remember the name? I checked it out and I said, oh, well, let me check it out during the open. Let's see what what the liquidity is on the options on it. I was talking about it in pre-market. If anybody remembers that, let me know. Yeah, S&P 500, but more importantly, the Qs are ripping. The Qs provide more return per day than the S&P 500. Zim. Okay, yeah, just like, let's see. Zim. Oh my God. No, it's so liquid. 24,000 options traded already. What? Yeah, it's incredibly liquid. So you should probably be able to open up, on a monthly, a PCS on that and be okay. The spread's about 10%, maybe 11%. So it's still a little bit spready, but the liquidity is there. It's not like, a sector or an index or Apple or a big cap, but it's pretty good. You could do it. You could do it. All right, looks like everything else is looking good. APLS is another one that is doing well off of the open, except that's not a signal. Not today. This is just an inside day. BNTX. No. CRISPR. Let's see. CRSP. I'd love for CRISPR to give us a signal. Let's see what this move was. 100% in 22 days. So it does qualify as a potential growth monster. But it did break down its high tight flag recently. Maybe some bad news or something happened. And it's probably not even going to get to near new high breakouts before earnings come up in about 3 weeks or a month. Yeah, about 3 weeks or a month. And that could derail it. So it's a little questionable and difficult to find an entry and trust an entry is the good way to put it on CRISPR. So, but it's fair. It should definitely continue to pique our interest. I'll keep it on our hot list. Boom, just added it to the hot list. RVMD. AMD is ripping. All right. RVMD. Let's see. 90% in 64 days. 4% ADR. Yeah, that's interesting. I don't like the breakdown it had recently, but it reclaimed the 200 off of it. So, it's kind of back in action. RVMD. I can't say I like, biotech for reliability. But if, you're going to be in just for a couple of days, that's the intention, and that should be your proper trade horizon. It may very well be something decent that could go from right now it's at like 29.50. It could go up to 33, something like that. All right, we're 14 minutes in to the market, and let's take another look at it. And let's gauge all the sectors together now and get a 14-minute reading. So it looks like consumer discretionary flying, doing great. The S&P 500, the Qs, growth and value, doing great. The VIX showing some contrary action. So we may be topping out soon here. The dollar, however, continues to get stronger. Oil's moving up. Gold is moving up as well. So we're talking about all tides. Consumer staples is holding. We're getting some pullback in the industrials, financials, and base materials. Rates are definitely falling. That's great for the economy and great for the business cycle. Utilities are holding. All right, so we're getting a little bit more of a mixed message. So it might not be an all-day grind-up kind of day. We're 14 minutes in. It's a much better, healthier, more trustworthy reading. However, it looks pretty good. We're getting, like 80% tides rising, and the only things really falling are things that are dependent on inflation, and inflation's coming down. We're seeing that in the rates, and we're seeing that in the industrials and base materials and financials. That makes total sense. But we're definitely not seeing rotation, so that's good. We're just seeing deflation plus rising tide. So we'll see how the day continues. It looks kind of good. All right, guys, let's go back into the group. It's Friday. I'll see you on Monday if I don't see you back in the group. Have a great weekend, everybody. And let's dive back into the group and keep each other abreast of opportunities. Yep. The dollar is getting stronger. That's what, when it does that, that means the dollar is getting stronger on the global stage. Oh, it's a holiday Monday, everybody. Holiday Monday. That's true. That's true. No trading on Monday. See you on Tuesday if I don't see you in the group today and over the weekend. Okay, have a good one, everybody. Peace out.